Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel and part 4 of Fierce Friends grayscale coloring page, and she is available in my Etsy shop. So we've come to the background, and there's a couple things that I still need to finish. But I do want to mention something, and it's been kind of weird because I've been struggling with what to do about it. I don't know if you have the coloring page in front of you by any chance, not the colored one, but like the uncolored one. She looks quite a bit different than the coloring page. And I've been battling back and forth as to what to do, whether I like, which one I like better. I like them both for different reasons. And so I just wanted to let you know that, and that is, that happens. Like we talked about it earlier, how just the smallest little changes in facial features can completely change the way a face looks. And to me, she looks like a completely different person than the original drawing. Part of that is because of the shape of that I did on her her jawline. Her mouth is a little bit different. So I wanted to let you know that when you see me posting the picture online, I'm actually going to be posting the other version of this page. I'm not going to be posting this one because on Etsy, what people are going to see is the colored version of the page that was turned into grayscale, and I want them to look the same. So I'm gonna, this one is the one that we did for YouTube, and everything else that you see online is going to be the other version of the page. So I didn't want you to get confused, but I also didn't want, potential customers who don't watch my YouTube channel to see this and then go over to Etsy and see a page that looks different than this. I tried to make them look the same, but they don't. This is one of those cases where her face looks quite a bit different than the original drawing. So, oh well, so be it. It is what it is. My new not mantra, I guess mantra for the year is don't sweat the small stuff, which is what I have a tendency to do. I'm not going to do that about this. So, but I did want to let you know that that is the case. If you see a different version online, it's because I did two versions. So I'm going to take my my Toolyart white acrylic paint pen, and I'm going to go ahead and give her little dots. You may also notice that her dots are in a different spot than they were when I first started on this page. And I actually moved them for the coloring page. So I'm filming this before the coloring page actually even gets loaded onto Etsy. So I redid it so that I could lower those little dots on above her eyebrows and bring them down just a little bit. So that's how the coloring page will actually be, is with her white painted dots being a little bit lower on her forehead. Okay, I think that's it. I may have narrowed her jawline just a tiny little bit off camera. I was trying, that was when I was stressing. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And just realized that, what, she looks different from the original, and that just is what it is. So yeah, when I look at her, I like her better. When I look at the other one, I like the other one better. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so background. I believe we are ready to do that. So I've got some odorless mineral spirits here. And I have my Mungayo Gallery oil pastels. That's these. And I pulled out Russet. Salmon. Little bit of Scarlet, but just a little bit. And white. I'm not sure if I'm gonna need more Scarlet than that, but we're gonna try. Okay, so I'm not going to stress too much about getting this in here because I discovered that if I use Nectar and a little bit of Chestnut in between the palm fronds, the color matches quite nicely. So I am going to turn this around so I can work this way. And let's dip I wish I could get this so that you could really see everything in camera. Well, that kind of works. Okay, so dipping my brush in, and I'm going to start with white. I'm pretty sure the salmon color will blend into that white. And if it doesn't, well, let's go ahead and start adding some of that salmon in there. Now I do tend to mix while things are still kind of wet with my finger. I'm just barely touching the brush to the mineral spirits. I'm not putting them in heavy. What am I trying to say? I'm not getting the brush very wet. I'm just like grabbing, that one went in a little further than I'm just touching a couple of bristles. And I'm feeling like this is not coming out the way I want it to. Sometimes that happens. You try and replicate something and it doesn't work out. Am I in frame? Yes, I'm in frame. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and come in here because it's, so far, it's working pretty well for that. I don't want to touch the palm fronds because I don't want to, what am I trying to say? I don't want to have to use a oil-based pen on those. So I think I'll just practice a little caution. Just to barely touch. Sometimes you gotta work stuff a little bit to get it the way you want it. I think that'll work out okay. So see, I just touched like the tiniest little bit of bristle because I don't want the brush soaking wet. I just want it wet enough to dissolve the oil pastels. And I didn't even use any of this. Let's squeeze a little bit of that in there. I want a nice kind of ombre blend here. I'm going to try and achieve that. I'm going to add a little bit more of this white here, this white and peach, salmon, white and salmon. It looks a little dark right there, and I'm not sure why, so I'm going to just leave it alone. I'm going to let it kind of dry a little bit. Sure the mineral spirits are all dry, and if I have to come in with the straight color on top of it, I will. In fact, I kind of feel like I'm going to have to do that. If I take some white and just rub it on my finger, I'm probably rushing this and I need to stop. I do have a tendency to rush things. All right, I don't like what's happening right there. So I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna pull out my Nectar and my Chestnut. So thankfully, the colors kind of look like they belong. You can't really tell. Somehow I always seem to get lucky with finding a pencil that coordinates with whatever I'm using for the background. So you can't really even tell. This, I feel like, needs to be blended a little bit more. It's amazing how much better a page looks after you cover up the tan color of the paper. No, this isn't exactly thrilling. Normally I might like speed through this, but the video is going to be so short if I do that. So we'll just let it roll. I'm thinking about what that chestnut. Let me just see. This chestnut's going to go in up in these upper ones here because we've got darker color. Seems like it would almost be easier to do the palm fronds first, but I guess not. It almost looks a little bit too dark going in there straight. So I think we will put Nectar down first. This is one of those parts that it's like, it's not my favorite thing to do, but like the little fiddly bits. But it has to get done. I also realized why I like filming at an angle better, because it seems like the lights don't reflect off and cause the color pencil to get all shiny and look yucky. All right, we're getting there. I think this is still easier than trying to get in here with a little brush. And the nice thing is I won't have to use an oil marker, which would really most likely just soak right into the paper unless I covered the fronds with the oil pastels too, and I didn't want to do that. All right, let's put a little bit of this chestnut on the upper areas. Try and replicate that dark to light look. Maybe even out here a little bit. All right, and a little bit of white maybe. I think that kind of has the glow that I want. It looks like this has gotten a little bit better. I wonder if that will cover over with letting it dry a little bit more. But of course, I don't want to wait. I want I want to Oompa Loompa now. This is the salmon. Okay, let's try white. I'm just pulling it off of the sometimes things go just exactly the way you want them to, and sometimes they don't. All right, a little more white. I scribbled it on the palette and then I'll pull it off. I think I can get it on thicker when I, use my fingers, as opposed to the mineral spirits. And I am going to put gold leaf on it, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I kind of just wanted to get, there we go, that's getting a little bit better. I wanted to have this kind of cool, there, this cool kind of sunsetty looking. That works. I'm okay with that. All right. So, I know everything's all glary. I'm sorry. There's our oil pastel background. I think I can go ahead and do the palm fronds. And that will give the oil pastels a little bit of a chance to dry, and then we'll do the gold leaf. So this is just a double-sided black water-based marker. I got this at Joann. It's Art Alternatives. And it works great. I bought several of them because when I used it at first, I just really loved it. So I went back and bought more, and they're really cheap. They're like $1.99 or something, maybe even less than that. Okay. I'm sure that was thrilling to watch me wash my hands. All right, so here we go. I think I did an okay job of not getting the oil pastel on top of these. You don't have to do yours in black if you don't want to. You could do them in green. I tend to really like the look of a silhouetted greenery in my pieces. So a lot of the time you'll see black, you know, leaves and stuff like that in my pages, but they never have to be the colors I use. You can always do whatever you want. I try and lighten it enough to where you can add another color other than the dark color. Usually it's black, but sometimes I use other colors. But again, the nice thing about grayscale is you can still color over dark grayscale with other colors, and it shows up. And if you ever want to color a lighter color over something that's dark in that's dark, put a little bit of white down on top of the dark grayscale, and then put your color down, and that will lighten things up enough to where it should work just fine. I learned that when I did what was it? Oh, the one of the Coloring Heaven magazines. Which one was it? The Gothic Alchemy? Is that right? I'm having a hard time figuring out what I did here. I can't. Everything crisscrosses on top of each other. Now I'm like, what did I do here? Oh yeah. Yeah, the Gothic Alchemy. It's an old one. That was one from like 2 years ago. And it was very dark grayscale. And I discovered that if I put a little bit of white down on top of the black, I could go over it with a lighter color and it would work better. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what this is here. It's like, Okay, well, I know it. Oh, careful, don't go too far on that hair. You know, I'll probably put some flyaway hairs, actually. If I can remember, I want to put some more hairs up on top of the palm fronds. Sometimes I like to outline the silhouettes with usually white, a contrasting color, but I think in this case, I'm going to leave them just dark. Do you ever do something and then just completely confuse yourself? That's where I'm at right now. I'm just completely confusing myself. Yeah, I don't know what I did here, but we're just gonna fill it in. I might just fill that part in too. I don't know. Occasionally that does happen. I do something and it's like, what is that? All right, I think that's okay. I don't know what I did there, but that's all right. Oh, you're really out of... Okay, so I'm going to pull out my glue, because I think we'll be okay to do that right now. And so we'll add the glue and then the gold leaf. Okay, normally I would pour a little bit of this into a little ramekin, but I don't have one handy. So a paper plate works just as well. And that's just metal leaf size, metal leaf adhesive that I got at Hobby Lobby. Lots of different brands are available. So, and then for this one, I'm gonna do kind of a rough a rough circle, half circle. So there's really no rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of doing brush strokes. And we're not going to know what it looks like until I put the gold leaf on. So sometimes it comes out and you're like, woohoo, that looks great. And sometimes it comes out and you're like, oh, I need to make some adjustments on that. So try not to get the metal, not the metal, the gold onto your actual drawing. And then I'm going to just do a couple of loose I know you can't see what this, I don't even know what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna put a couple of singles, you know, like just, and then I think some dots. This way of doing it is a little scary, even for me, because I can't, it's not planned out. It's just, you just do it and hope that you like the results and when it's, you know, revealed. But that's just the way it is. So I can kind of see the sheen, where the sheen is of the circle. And I think that that's okay. I can always add more. Now I can't take away, but if I do the gold leaf and then I'm like, oh, I think I need some more on there, or I'm not happy with that, for whatever reason, I'll just add more. But for now, we're gonna let that dry. And when we come back, we'll put the gold leaf on it. Okay, so our glue is dry and tacky. So I'm going to take my, oh, I should have turned off my fan. I'm going to do that right now. Because gold leaf is very flyaway. All right, so these are the flakes. So basically, I'm just gonna, I think in the interest of speed, I'm just gonna take a bunch of it and tap it on here. Often if I'm doing this and trying to really preserve my gold leaf, I will painstakingly open it up and lay it down. But as I said, that kind of takes some time. And the flakes are often all stuck together. But when you go to brush them all off, they'll release anything that's not stuck to the glue. So, and then I'll see if I can save. All right, I think that's all covered. Feels pretty good. Okay, then I'm going to take my brush that I use just for gold leafing. You can see it's pretty beat up on the end because this is the way that it gets done. This is interesting. I know I put this on here I know I put it on here much more like this. So let me see what's going on here, why it's stuck. Might have stuck because of the oil, the oil pastels. Maybe I didn't let them dry enough. All right, I'm gonna try a rougher brush. So somewhere I should have a stencil brush. Actually, this is not a stencil brush, but it's pretty rough, so well, we can't be perfect every time, right? Sometimes there's little mistakes, so I'm not sure what happened there. It must be the oil pastels, but I don't remember waiting a super long time between putting the oil pastels on and then the gold leaf on the first page, so I'm not sure why it's very odd. Yeah, I don't know what I did there. Maybe I didn't let it dry long enough, but I'm going to need to come in because I'm not happy with that. I want to come in and try and get that gold leaf a little bit closer to the edge of the tiger's ear because I want it to look like it's behind, and right now it just is not. I also think maybe I was overly anxious. So I will say this. Let your oil pastels dry probably, I don't know, maybe at least an hour. I'm guessing here because I'm not sure why it did something weird. I mean, that's kind of the way I want it to look, but not exactly the way I want it to look. So I don't know if you guys want to watch this part or not. I just don't. So I'm going to grab a brush. I still have some glue left on my thingy here, although it's kind of starting to get tacky now. And I'm going to try to get up closer there to that ear. And the same thing over here. All right, so now that I can see, I don't know. I don't know why it did what it did, but I will, at the end of the video, I'll post a picture of the original artwork as well, so you can kind of see what it's supposed to look like. I might come in here. I'm going to be brave and try and lighten up. I don't know. I don't know what happened, because all of this area here that was, you know, white and looked good now is kind of dull and brown from the color of the paper underneath. So I don't know. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. I put a little bit more in here. I'm happy with it for the most part, but this kind of is weird to me. So I'm going to let what I just put on there dry some more. I'll work on it and I'll come back and show you what I did. But honestly, if the oil pastels are dry and that wasn't the problem, everything that I did should have worked. So you do just put basically the sizing down, let it dry for at least 20 minutes, and then put your gold leaf on and rub it away, and it should work just fine. I don't know why it didn't this time, but I'll try and fix it, and we'll see what happens. Alrighty, so let's try this again. Yeah, I have a really bad habit of being over anxious to do stuff and not taking enough time to make sure that it's going to be right. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it backfires. So it is what it is. I think the problem was when I pulled out that super hard brush. That's just way too, it was way too stiff. And I think what it did was it just kind of scratched everything off, including some of the oil pastel that was, you know, down in here. Now, anywhere that feels sticky, that should take more gold leaf. It's just behaving very strangely. So I'm a little confused. Typically, the gold leaf will just rub right off anywhere where there's not any glue. So yeah, this might be a case of it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's very odd. Okay, so what I did with the with this was I thought, you know what, I'll just add white with the colored pencil to try and cover up some of those areas that looked a little gray. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll try some of this Nectar color, which was what we used over here. I might just be making a bad situation worse. Yeah, it's okay. It's not terrible. I don't know how much of that I was out of frame on. I just realized I was probably out of frame on that a lot. So if I was, I apologize. I think this just kind of threw me a little bit. So there's the finished page. I will post a good photo of it at the end of the video, and I will also post a picture of the first version of the page, and you guys can see them, you know, kind of one after the other. So thanks for another video series, hanging out with me for another video series. I appreciate all of you. If you like my channel, even though it sometimes is a little bit not perfect, please consider subscribing or giving this video a like, leave a comment. All of that stuff helps out a lot. So I will call this one finished, and I will be back soon for another one. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye.